of how my closet is designed by my mast cells. Hi guys, Going Green Mom here, and we have been working on our wardrobes in the Simply Summer Challenge lately, and I thought it might be helpful for some of you if you have similar issues to what I do. So these are some of my sweaters. Actually, I think most of them at this point because it's like 80 degrees this week. And one thing you'll notice with all of them, well, these three at any rate, they're actually made out of natural fibers. This one here, this has served me really well over the years. It's a cowl neck sweater, but it's also acrylic. And what I have found is if it's not natural fibers at this point, it will likely cause some itching, and especially if it retains heat. So obviously you want a sweater to keep you warm, but if it doesn't breathe well, so like think of your fibers that are actually made out of plastic, they don't breathe well. So I don't wear a lot of clothes that are made out of polyester or acrylic or, you know, my main fibers: cotton, silk, linen. They work well. Oh, and I can sometimes do wool. It needs to be usually, it usually needs to be either organic, not processed in the US, or I definitely researched the company. I'm actually going to donate this one. It's stayed around this long simply because it is a little bit dressier, and at this point I don't think I need a dressy sweater. I could find something else to wear if I needed something dressy, and it's summertime, so it'll be like, you know, a good 6 months before I would want a dressy sweater. One of the great things about laundry day is that I know what I'm not wearing anymore. And so today I'm noticing, well, and I've been thinking about this one for quite a while. This is actually a maternity maxi skirt. No, I do not have it still hanging around from when my kids were born. I find with my body shape that maternity styles, whether it's dresses or skirts, often accommodate my hips if they are not overly shaped to accentuate the belly. They will expand in ways that other stuff won't. So this is actually 100% cotton. However, it is stretched out, so I'm struggling to keep it up. So this is also going to go today, but it will actually likely get replaced as soon as I find something that will work, probably at garage sales, which is actually where that came from. It cost me $1. Now, this is one. These are some Capris that they're a good size. They're an okay shape. They're not a great fabric for me. I think it's a mix. Yeah, okay, so it is a 57% cotton, 38% modal, and a 5% spandex mix. It does have a nice wide band. And I mention that because one of the things I have noticed is that if a garment puts a lot of pressure on a certain area, that is actually a good sign. It will wind up leaving me with irritation, itching, hives in that area if I wear it for too long, especially if it is a non-natural fiber. And you're probably going, but those are generally okay. So cotton, yes, it's okay. Modal is often thrown in that category. I want to say it's made out of like cellulose. It's basically recycled tree fibers, if I understand correctly. The problem is there's so many chemicals used in the processing of modal that it's still an issue for me. And then the spandex I can handle a little bit, but not a whole lot, and I typically do better with elastane. I'm not sure what the difference between spandex and elastane are, but this is not a great option. These are going to get quarantined. A few other things in my closet that I haven't been wearing a whole lot lately, mainly because of weather. It's in the 80s here this week, so this is a sort of mid-gray cotton shirt. It's, I think, supposed to be long sleeve, but I am tall, so it kind of works out to be a 3/4 length sleeve. It does have a little bit of a collar on it, so I could probably dress it up a little bit, but it's actually rather casual. This is an old flannel shirt that was my dad's, so if I need to go out in the evening and it's a little chilly, if I don't need like a full coat, I'll often grab this. It is flannel. And made out of natural fibers, but you know, it is prone to shrinkage, and he wasn't as tall as I am, so probably not the best, but it does work with a lot of pieces. It's a good blue for me, and it's not going to irritate any skin that is visible, especially on my arms. I find that a lot of this area on on garments is actually a bit tight because, well, my arms aren't exactly small. Now, I do have a few things that help me during the wintertime to manage heat. If you're unaware with mast cell activation issues, a lot of times you can have problems with temperature fluctuations. That can be extreme heat or it can be extreme cold. So I try to sort of mitigate that by dressing in layers so that I can always accommodate what my body temperature is, no matter what the season is doing. And these are one way I do this. Now, this is silk long underwear. I've got both. You can tell I've got lint on them, but pants as well as a shirt. Probably not the best way to store the shirt, so I'll probably take it off the hanger for the summertime. But these are, it's 100% silk, and I just got these from Land's End. They are very lightweight, so they don't add a lot of bulk, but they will help keep you warm. They also wick moisture away from your skin. So if you do happen to get into a place that's warmer or be going in and out, you can wind up with it wicking away your sweat and any moisture so that you don't get too hot or too cold from that either. That is one problem with like cotton, is that it will actually, it just kind of, it absorbs it rather than wicking it away, and the silk will wick it away. Okay, so one thing I have started doing that helps alleviate areas where there are tighter areas of a garment is to wear dresses or skirts. This is a dress that I like. It is a cotton knit, so it stretches. It does have ties to help give it shape. And this is a wrap style. I'm kind of large chested, so it's a style that I can easily sort of manipulate to cover as much as I want. Or I could put a camisole underneath it to cover up higher up this way, whatever that's called. So this has been a great option for me. Now, a touch on undergarments. I don't typically wear a bra unless I'm going to be going somewhere. So mainly because at this point, they're not comfortable. They add extra heat from the layers. And a lot of times the elastic is not really a great option. Now, I have found some kinds that are more of a sports bra style, but those are almost exclusively not natural fibers. I have also found some that are cotton. They don't have quite as much support as would probably be useful, but there's less elastic in them, and they are a bit more natural over more skin area, and so it's just the areas where there's elastic that it's irritating. So I just minimize the amount of time I need to wear those. I am trying to work on some styles that maybe I could sew. Back in the day, like a couple centuries ago, it wasn't uncommon for garments to give more support in certain areas. So I would like to try and make a few garments, probably all dresses, that will help do that without the need for a bra. And I do have underwear and stuff. I just don't wear it very often. I aim for things that it won't show if I'm not wearing those. This I really probably need a bra for. Now, so that is cotton. And it's knit, so it does stretch out eventually and needs replaced. That's one problem with the knits. They accommodate for curves better, but they are a bit more short-lived. So another thing I really like is these 3/4 length t-shirt material type shirts. Not too hot, not too cold, and I don't typically need a sweater or anything over these, but at the same time, if I throw on a cardigan, which you didn't see because I may have decluttered them all last year. A good 3/4 sleeve tee, and the other place I have a lot of irritations is up around my neck. So you'll notice that most of my garments sit more down here. In my videos and stuff, a V-neck so it stays away from the area of my throat where I feel like I'm being choked is also helpful. And then at the same time, I don't have a lot of elastic, like I'm not going to have little elastic to have a ruffle down there or anything. I tend to aim for basic. And now that it is summer, we don't have AC right now. For now, I am rocking the tank tops a lot. Like I mentioned earlier, it is laundry day. So I have a couple flavors. I have a couple colors. This one, it was like $3 at Walmart on the clearance bin, but it is a blue color that I absolutely love. So it is a bit brighter than my navy. And you know what, guys? I like color. I'm finding I don't necessarily like wearing it as much as I used to, but I do still have color in my wardrobe. So far you'll notice most things are black or navy blue. This is definitely an accent color for me, no matter where I'm at. I've got scarves that are, or a scarf that is in this color as well. And for the most part, it actually goes with most anything in my wardrobe. It goes well with navy blue, it goes well with black, it goes well with red, and it goes well with gray. So if I want a bit more color, that is a good option for me. And I don't need a whole lot of different colors to make that work. Now, another style that I've been liking is a wrap skirt. So this is cotton, and it is a print. It works in some teal and some sort of coppery brown tones, as well as a couple different blues. And then you can adjust this for your size depending on, and my weight fluctuates. So I can actually adjust this by what size I am that day, and I'm okay. On my bigger days, I will wear a pair of shorts under it because this might gap a little bit. So just to make sure I stay modest to some degree, that is one way I go about that. And because I can adjust the ties, it's not anything that is ever super tight or doesn't need to be super tight. Well, so I also have, this is actually like a cotton linen blend. So all natural fibers again, except for the elastic, which is completely encased, which is nice, because then I don't have it next to my skin. Now, the problem with that, if you are looking at things to buy, you want to make sure that the elastic is big enough that it will stretch to not be too tight wherever you wear your garments normally. So these are shorter than I would typically wear out, so I'm not like going to do anything but maybe mow the yard in these, and only if my neighbors aren't around. But like I'll wear these under the skirt if I need to cover that gap. Now, I also have these Capris. You guys have no doubt seen me in, and I've got that same Capri in two colors. They are also 100% cotton, and that is nice because I don't have to worry about it. There is not really stretch in this weave of fabric. I mean, I guess there's a little bit, but not a whole lot. So they're not terribly accommodating for different sized days. I think they are actually two different sizes. No, these do happen to both be 22s. So, but at one point I did own another one that was a 24. So that would be, if you know you have a garment that works well for you and you fluctuate sizes regularly, that's another good option, is to have both of your main sizes. Recently, I had been on the hunt for some longer shorts. So these are actually, I don't know if you can see. So like they're still above the knee, but they actually extend down my leg. So I would wear these out in public, not like anywhere fancy, but if I needed to drive the kids somewhere, I would totally wear those out of the house. Jeans. For years, they were something I just didn't wear because they weren't comfortable. If you think about most jeans, well, okay, so if you think about the jeans I would have grown up with, they didn't have the ease from all the elastic that's contained in them. And that's actually fine to some degree for me, other than the fact that without the added elastic, they don't have the give, so they can wind up binding like around your waist, at your knees, which is an easy place, if I eat something wrong, is going to be more irritated because that's one of the places I'll break out with hives. So jeans were not really great for me in that aspect, and for years I haven't really found any that were a good shape or fit me well. These are sort of an in-between. To some degree, I have learned to be okay with a pant length that doesn't go all the way to the floor, but that is actually my preference, is for them to just meet the floor. But this is not a completely natural fiber. This is only 70% cotton, and then you've got to deal with some elastane and some polyester and some, I think it was viscose. So they're not great. They are loose enough that they do have enough breathability. I can get away with them. And the more I wear them, the baggier they seem to get, which is not terribly helpful. But I do have a blue pair, a black pair, and I was desperate for pants over the winter, so at one point I bought a pair that actually had holes in them. Can somebody please explain to me why this is a good fashion statement? I don't get it. Now, my fix for that, I did take an embroidery class last year, and I have some of this Don't Bug Me fabric that I absolutely love from my mom's stash, and I am going to embroider ladybugs around the hole so that it is covered. Because I'm sorry, if it's the middle of winter, I don't need a hole in my jeans when I'm going to try and shovel the driveway. And these are actually sort of cropped as well, so they're even a little shorter, yet I guess one thing I like about fashion right now is that what used to be called high waters is apparently a good thing. I don't know. I've never been the most fashionable in the world, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into how I adjust to accommodate my mast cells so that I am not constantly breaking out in hives or having issues due to heat, cold, or sudden fluctuations in temperature. And I guess another thing I should mention, I have these, they're Coverups, so they're often available right now if you can find them. You could also take a tightly woven fabric that is generally double-sided. Like there's a little bit of a lighter, it's a little bit lighter on the bottom of this, but it's cotton, so I can wear it, and then I can tie it in ways that make it work for me. There are different ways you can tie these where you would like have it up around your neck and wrap around. I don't generally do well with things here. It puts too much pressure on my neck. I have a feeling that's an Ehlers-Danlos thing. Probably the same reason I don't do well with aprons up around my neck either. But something like this, especially if you're around the house, it's a way you can have something loose and flowy on and not cause a whole lot of problems. I do have it a little bit tighter to hold it up, but at the same time, it's in a place it doesn't seem to put a lot of pressure either. So hopefully you found some good tips here